Right, here we go. I'm getting ready to get back on this job. Paul's done all the sole on there. Look, beautiful sole. Look at that heel. Beautiful heel stack. Bit of dust on there where I've been handling it. All stitched back together. So the pressure's on now to make a nice job of this patch that I'm putting in. So I'm all tooled up with the webcam on there, and my daughters have sorted this out for me. So I've got this strapped up here, or I have the option of having the head cam like that. You see, I can just have whichever one is best for you. I do this for you customers. This is what I do. Make a knob of myself. Anyway, let's crack on. Okay, eyes down looking, here we go. This is the shoe. This leather's all a bit hard. This is the patch that I would like to put on there. I think I'm going to just thin the edges off a little bit, and then I'm going to rough this. I can't make it any worse, can I? I'm going to rough this leather up, and away we go. So the patch is coming to there, it's coming around there, coming around there like that. So that's, and we're hoping to tuck the patch down there behind this welt. This is a storm welt, not a barber welt or a flat welt. It's got the raised edge there. A split welt is the same. So this is a storm welt or a split welt. And we're going to just open that gap up there, because what we want to do, and we just, yes, we are pulling on the welt stitches there, but they'll be fine. Paul's already done the sole and heel on here, full Dainite rebuild. But you've seen that done a dozen times. So we're just manipulating that to make a little bit of a gap there. So that's it. Oh, the shoe there, look. Wow. If we get this one to look half as good as that, we'll have done well. So now we want something to lean on to, let's have a look what we got down here. Oh, some of that there, look. Bit more. Off cut. Oh, bugger it. Scissors. So we're going to get rid of, I don't know if you can see this furry bit. We're going to get rid of the furry bit. In fact, we'll leave it on at the bottom. I wonder if we can burn that off. Oh, we can, look, you see, look, that furry bit. So there's our patch. To make sure it keys in, we need to just rough up the surface here. Take the edge of the scissors. And what we're doing is just opening up the surface of the leather to allow the glue to get in. There's our line. If we don't rough up the surface, we can put glue on there and just wipe it off again. It can't key in. We can see the line here that we're working to. And anything will do, the knife, or but we'll try the knife. Now I could, before I put this patch on, I could pull that together and put a few stitches in it, but the customer has worn it. The lining is beautiful inside. The customer's worn it out because he's obviously got some sort of bunion that's pushing on there. So I don't want to stitch that in, pull it tight. So I'm going to just leave all that. We're going to get some glue down there. And then our patch. And then down onto the shoe. And then let's see if we can work that down behind that welt. Right, so I'm going to leave that to set. I'll leave that to set, and then I'm going to pull this forward, push that down, pull that forward, seal it in, and then try and see if I can get a row of stitching down here on there. Okay, we're back. We're back on there. The glue's set. Just rub it with a bit of crepe to get all the excess glue off. And then it's on the stitcher. And this has got a really super fine stitch, but we can't really stitch with a super fine stitch because we'd just end up perforating this hard leather here. So we're going to go with a big stitch. Oh, rethreaded the machine and not gone around the tension. That's it. Oh, I don't know if that camera is catching any of this. The machine isn't wanting to stitch nicely. It's and then there goes the needle. There you go. Another couple of quid on the price of the job. Come on out. Good way to bugger up here. There you go. Done. Bit of stitching around there. Let's get these threads off. So a bit more crepe. Have you finished?
Finished.
4 o'clock. Are you loving your early finish? Oh, overtime. Overtime. You grab her. Starting at 10, finishing at 4. 3 days, 4 days a week. Yeah. We'll get it down to 3 days if we can. Right, okay, so let's put a bit of broguing back in. So that's the holes there. Let's bit of broguing in there, not like that. Disappearing. That's it. Do you know what it is yet? Do you know what it is yet? Right, and then we're going to give this back to our cameraman and ask him to put some goodness into it polish it up and just see what the finish effect is. Paul's made a lovely job of that sole on there. A bit of glue left over there, but it'll just come off. Lovely. There you go. So that's a bit of polish around that. Get some laces in it, and we'll see what it's like. This is the repair done. The hideous, no, it's a hideous repair, but it was done quickly. It was done just something to get these shoes back going and half respectable. The customer didn't even ask for much to be done, really. Just bang anything on. We could have stuck a bit of old tyre on for him and stitched it on, and he'd have been happy. Anyway, this is the pair of shoes. Look, don't look too close. Don't look too close. But that's the shoes done. Look, just I'm wiggling them about so you just see them as a general. Beautiful repair there. Paul got the easy job. Paul got the full strip down rebuild. That's the mechanics of the job. Strip it off, unbolt it, bolt a new one on. When you start buggering about with bits of leather and stitching them on and trying to cover bits up and then trying to blend it in and get them clean, you spend bleeding hours at it, and we can't make a living at that. But we've done these. I think, and these belong to a chap called Nick. No? Alan, that was it, Alan. Right, lovely, lovely, lovely. So, that's a repair. Look, have a quick look. Don't look too close, don't look too fast. A blind man on a galloping horse, and that is now, has been treated. It's a little bit tough yet there, because it's got lots of glue in there that's holding it together nicely, and then it's all stitched. When we stitched it, it's stitched like a dog's arse, because the soft leather and then the hard, crunchy bits underneath, the leather that had gone really off, the sewing machine didn't want to follow that nicely and do a stitch here, a stitch there, a stitch, and you just can't get it any better. And I didn't bother punching holes in to make it look like it was brogued, because that would take strength out of it. And the biggest thing we want for this customer is for it to look relatively okay, but be nice and strong, so it keeps going for him. A week later, these are obviously all going to be covered in horse shite again. You know, that's the way they go, these shoes. Anyway, that's the shoes all done, ready to go out to the customer. We spent hours, well, I didn't, because I wouldn't, but we spent hours cleaning them with all sorts of different cleaners and softeners and all that sort of thing. Our man now stood behind the camera, spent ages doing that. I now owe him a Chinese for doing that. We wouldn't do that for people, and we don't do it. That's something that you can do. We just did it as a little bit of a project to show you how bad some shoes come in and how good you can send them out. What would this boot normally get? He might have got a Dear John. Sorry, we can't do them. Bin them. Buy yourself a new pair. That would have been probably the best bet. Or just slap him a patch on, 10 minutes, stitch round it. He'd have been happy again, because he's got his lovely, comfortable shoes back. Anyway, we've done them. They're all done. They've got the new laces in. That's what you get. And I know you'll say, well, some people will make a beautiful job of that. They could, but not commercially, and not on a pair of Barkers that you could have replaced for £280, I think, and special offer. Normally £375. At £375, they're a good buy. At £280, they're a bargain. It costs £100 to fill my car up with fuel. Some weeks I do it twice. Makes these shoes look cheap. It really does. So anyway, that's the shoes, all done, all cleaned. Thankfully they're done. They're going back to Alan, and hopefully he'll be happy with them.